Awesome. It's so funny. Mom calls and I can't hear. You're on mute. All right. Stephanie Cled or Clyde. Clede. Angel Cruz. Angel Cruz. And custody, we have Roland Diaz, Anthony Davis, Selena Perez, David Villegas, Gabriel Gomez, Justin Villarreal. Thank you. Luis Gomez, Chase Gordon, Dion Mason, custody, Gabriel Gobert. Gabriel Gobert. Why does that last name sound familiar? What is that from?
He's a basketball player, Judge.
Thank you, Hank. Renee Garza. Angel Montoya. Angela Gonzalez. And custody, we have Larry Hines, Wesley James Crawford.
There you go.
Thank you. In custody, we have Francisco Martinez. And Mr. Maurer, you're here for Larry Haynes.
Okay. Yeah, I confirmed. We're just waiting for you to provide.
All right, thank Caleb Crum. How do you pronounce your last name?
Like the color.
Crum like the color?
Color.
Ah, Chrome. Thank you. Carlton McMillan. Carlton McMillan. And custody is Adis Hernandez Rivas, Marco Marino, Anthony Davis, and Angel Cruz again. Angel Cruz. Angel Cruz. And custody is Tamar McIntyre, Oscar Martinez. All right, thank you. Joshua Mejia, custody. Jose Soto Victorino, Fernando Espinoza, Lazaro Estrada, Juan Soto, Lazaro Espinoza, Froland Guzman, Hector Lopez, Eric Gonzalez, Randy Lopez, custody, John Sanchez. All right, Curtis Williams. You need to get on the front row. You were late. Stephanie Cled or Clyde. Angel Cruz. Gabriel Gobert. Carlton McMillan. All right, is there anyone whose name was not called? If there is, please raise your hand. Yes.
Did you call Keith Hernandez? I stepped outside to see you there.
All right, I'll check the docket and see if that name was called. All right, anyone else? All right, so these are the rules of the court. Criminal Trial Division files are to my left, family violence to my right. Attorneys, please just pull your file, sit it on the table, and the state will take you in the order in which they receive your file. Criminal Trial Division and family violence, they divided up the files amongst themselves. So you get the prosecutor, you get. There are many people who are in custody. Some of them are co-defendants. So as you all know, co-defendants cannot be brought up from downstairs at the same time. So if you request your client who's in custody, do not leave. Because if you leave, what that means is there is somebody else who cannot be brought up. And if you do that, you're being selfish on Friday Eve, and we don't like that. The deputies are in charge of security, so they can only bring so many people out at one time. Do not approach the court unless you've conferred with your client and conferred with the state. Once you've done those things, just approach the clerk, ask them to pull your file, and I will call you up in the order in which I receive your file. To my left is the court reporter. Diana, can you raise your hand? Do not put your items anywhere where she is. Donna, can you point to where they should not be putting? Do not put your items up there. Do not lean up there because she has her equipment there. Her equipment is worth over $10,000. If you damage it, you will have bought it, and I will be called as a witness. And I will say, I told you beforehand, do not lean on her stuff. Do not put your items up there. I will take time off to go to civil court so she can get her $10,000 for her equipment. To my right is the probation officer. Vashawn, could you raise your hand? That is her desk. That is her office. I know there are no walls up, but do not sit on her desk. Do not move her papers around. Do not treat that as your desk. If you do, what's going to happen is she's going to say something. I'm going to say something. And then when I have a break, I'm going to come to your office personally. I'm going to sit on your desk and remove your things around. So please do not do that for her. When you're on this side and you confirm with the prosecutors, do not turn your back to her because you can see she's sitting down. And if you turn your back to her, what is she looking at? She does not want to do that. So today is Friday's Eve. We're going to be kind to each other. We're going to be courteous. We're going to negotiate. And we are going to make this day a happy day. If you need an interpreter, by need an interpreter, I mean that your client does not want to speak to court in English. An interpreter needs to be called down. Does not matter if you speak the language or not. So everyone, with a joyful Friday's Eve in your heart, please confer. But yeah, Rashawn, I don't know why people keep having events on a school night. It's a school night for me. Yes.
One of them is Keith Hernandez is here.
Okay.
He walked in like 5 minutes late. He was in line outside. He texted me like 3 times, but he's here.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, if you'll take a seat on the front row and state, can you make sure you have the file for Keith Hernandez?
That case is set for sentencing.
All right.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes. Would you go on back and ask them to, Caroline? Is no one sitting there?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you go in the back and have to pull the file,
Yes, ma'am.
because if it's for sentencing, then I already have the docket.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Give it back.
Just slightly above the last offer, you know. I don't know. Yeah, because I crossed that out. I'm not close to it. On the number.
All right, no problem. All right, the attorney on Keith Hernandez.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, if you approach, please.
How you doing, ma'am? Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for coming back.
Yes,
Sometimes
ma'am.
people say they're going to come back and they don't.
I knew I had to. I didn't want to get no more than that, what you gave me, so.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I need everyone to whisper. We're on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 7778, State of Texas, versus Keith Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state.
defense?
Thomas Beck for defense.
And are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, you entered a plea on August 1st to possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Today, we're here for sentencing. Are both parties ready to proceed? State
Yes, Your Honor.
defense? All right, I will follow your agreement. I will sentence you. Well, as previously stated, I'm finding you guilty. I'll sentence you to 6 months in the state jail facility and give you credit for any time served. Would you like to be considered for the therapeutic community? It doesn't increase the time that you're in custody, but if you have a drug or alcohol problem, they will help you with that.
Whatever will help me, yes.
All right, so I'm gonna put down therapeutic community. Here's the thing, I don't have jurisdiction to force them to place you in a therapeutic community, but so you'll need to request it as well.
Okay.
And when they do the judgment, in the judgment, it's going to say therapeutic community, so they'll know that I think that's a good placement for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How many children do you have?
2,
What are their ages?
15, 16.
All right, have you been in their lives at all?
Recently, yes, but I was out of their lives for a long time, being in and out of prison. So
All right.
that's why it was kind of hard for me to, take care of this so quick, but I'm glad I'm gonna take care of it right now. I
All right.
appreciate that day that you gave me to, spend time with me, so.
Oh, you're welcome. And time goes by quickly. I will tell you, especially the weekends, but I know time is longer when you're in custody. But I hope you'll use that time to figure out how to better yourself and figure out what you need.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a drug or alcohol problem, when you're released from custody, they have so many places now that are free for you
Yes, ma'am.
and all over the city. But when you are released, the first thing you should do, other than telling your family you've been released,
Mhm.
the first thing you should do is find yourself an NA or AA meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
They now call them sober support meetings.
Yes.
But from there, I guarantee you those people will be able to tell you the sober houses where they're living. They'll be able to tell you where you can get all the help you need. And when you're released from custody, if you can't find anything, you can always come back here and I'll give you the names and locations of some places.
Appreciate that, Judge. Thank you so much.
All right. Did any of those tattoos hurt?
Yeah, all of them. Every single one. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. All right. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. Caroline? She stepped out. Okay.
Good morning. Are y'all? Not till Monday? Okay, no worries. I just want to make sure.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, Caroline, when do you think you'll be finished with the book?
I think for for sure by mistake.
Okay. Okay.
If y'all want to do.
No, because you're part of the book club. And I got notice that some people have just started reading the book.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Next one for me.
So I'm going to see if everybody's okay with maybe, because Wednesday, we're usually in trial.
I think I read that.
So we could probably do it after trial. What do you think?
Like after or during lunch.
We could do it during lunch.
Or something.
Okay. Bashan. So Caroline is at a spot in the book.
I know for sure.
Yes. Now, I will tell you, you and I know what's going to happen. Jamisa is at the stage where she's still going off on the husband.
What track is she on?
Oh,
Is she making it past all this?
no, she's not. Jamisa is losing it. Jamisa has completely gone off the rails with it. But you and I know. But so maybe we should do maybe do it on Wednesday, or either we could do it next Friday. And I can continue to ask the author questions. And so if you all have questions, I'll continue to chat with her. And she usually gives me the answers the next day. So if anybody has questions, so everybody will have a chance to finish reading Don't Let Her Stay by Nicholas Sanders.
No, I need to set a case for next week.
Okay.
Jessica, oh, we'll let her know.
No.
Okay. I'm on it.
No, we're not gonna do it on Friday because Caroline, I'm gonna call her out. She hasn't finished reading the book yet. So,
Call Norma to hurry up because I don't like to wait.
hi.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing fine, Your Honor. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Good, and your mom's doing good?
Yeah, mom is doing great.
Good. Tell her hi for me, please.
Oh, I will tell mom,
Yeah.
Johnny, my mom really likes you.
Well, I like her too, and I haven't even had the pleasure to meet her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set a case for next week, Judge, for a plea.
Okay, which cases?
It's Rodolfo Aceves.
Okay.
So
All right. Did you let the state know?
I'm gonna tell them right now.
Okay.
I just want to get the date. I can give you a state, I believe. 1165 367 is the SID. 1165 367. So would like a Tuesday or Wednesday? Yeah.
If we do it on Wednesday, because usually that's testimony from the jury,
Okay.
you'll have to be here exactly at 9.
I can do that.
Okay. You
Okay.
thought about that for a long time. It
No,
worries
it's
me.
good. I have two other cases, but I'll be here first. I'm gonna make myself a note.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you talk to the state, they'll probably have your paperwork ready for you.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Okay, bad girl. I heard about that. I heard you being called out. You know, so I'm sure-
But she's been doing a lot of work.
She's in the little box today. We're getting out of it. I'm gonna bring you like a little message behind. Like, I think they do, you know, like in law school, they would just make you come either to the very front.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know, well, you know what was the key for me, I found out to law school? Because you never knew when the professor was going to call on you. Some of them would do that. One professor went by alphabet.
Right.
And so what I would do is I would constantly raise my hand. And then it got to the point, no, Stephanie, not you. I want to get somebody else. And I'm like, yay. Because I didn't have any books in law school because I couldn't afford books. So I would just read everything at the library or go online. So yes. And then I would go and I would read whatever. That's why when we had cases to read in the textbooks, people would be reading the case and it was 10 pages. I would be reading the case and it's about 100 pages. pages. So, but I learned a lot from it. So to me, every difficult stumble, there's always something good about it. And I think that's why I'm able to read fast now. And Diana, I'm quitting sodas cold turkey. Now, no more soda. It's going to be strictly H2O.
You have what? So it goes right.
Patience is a very nuts.
They have the different colors. Very beautiful. That's the.
People like kind of quiet, it's like that.
Good morning, ma'am. Sorry, I'm no.
You're gonna be like.
That he was. The interview was done this week. With the report. No, it's, I've always talked to prosecutors. If he says he found it down. I wasn't sure if he find it. I wasn't seeing anything in the system, and I checked our discovery system, or wasn't seeing.
No.
Okay, no worries. It is still showing.
Yeah. I think-
I don't know. But it was. I know if we were.
Let me check on the calendar.
Okay. No worries, thank you.
Okay. So all these. Yeah. That's reasonable.
But I don't like this. I like this. I like.
Put Larry in September.
All right, Larry Hines.
It's Haynes, Judge.
Haynes?
Yes, he's present. He's in the box. Judge, can I bring him up?
Yes.
All right.
Deputy Larry Haynes is coming to the front. All right. All right, what is happening and where is your son going?
Judge, I'm sure he's gonna go find all the case law that I need for this.
Okay.
Judge, this is the first.
Does he want to come forward? Isn't he helping out on this
Sure, come on.
case? I bring the children forward. All right.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes.
So Judge, this is the first opportunity I've had to talk with Mr. Haynes. He has several old cases that were filed at large. And I need to do my due diligence before I can make a decision about how we're going to handle things and go over all the evidence with Mr. Haynes. So I'm asking for a reset so I can look over all the evidence first.
All right. So there's no outstanding discovery.
Not that it's.
Not that I'm aware of, no, Judge. I shouldn't be.
All right. No CPS records.
I think there are CPS records in there, Judge, and I'll file the appropriate motion to protect them.
All right. If
Your Honor, I believe there was a previous protective order entered for the CPS records on a previous date on one of his cases, and we do have a copy of those. If they haven't been tendered to Mr. Mauer already.
Yeah, I don't think I was I'm not sure if I was the attorney on that.
all right. So if you'll make sure he gets that, and if I need to sign another order, I'll
We'll find
sign.
another order.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on this case, if I can have a 30-day reset, this will be the last setting for you all to review discovery.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor.
September 7th.
All right, we'll come back on September 7th.
You said that's for discovery?
Yes.
Yes.
And were you able to tender an offer today or no?
I got an offer, Judge.
Okay.
We're just not in a position to make a decision what to do yet.
All right. And is it a chance that your client will be released from custody?
No.
All right. Well, we'll have you back here on September 7th. And at that time, I'll expect everyone to have reviewed discovery. And then after that, I'm going to give you a short turnaround date for a plea deadline date. All right. You have any questions about anything?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Is this,
Is anyone else?
Martinez Cantu?
I didn't want to do that. Unless someone else is going on. But I mean. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not so like.
Yes. September 7th. No. Well, it just. I'll do this.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not bad.
Oh.
It's just a travel. Sure.
Yes.
Just Mr. Judge, it's a motion for travel for my client. I just spoke with Mr. Banks. The state has no opposition to the motion. I just wanted to see if it would be. approved.
And where's your client?
He's not here today. I didn't think he would have to be. It's not on docket and it's not indicted.
All right, have him come in and then I'll take it up. I'll take it up today. Where is he?
I mean, he didn't know I was approaching on this today.
Okay.
It's just travel. Again, he wasn't expecting to be in court.
All right, he can either appear by Zoom or in person and I'll take it up.
Would I be able to do Zoom this morning?
Sure, just ask them for the Zoom link and he can zoom in.
Okay, I'll try. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. It's right here.
Thanks.
These are questions we need to start asking. Norma, I made the announcement that I'm quitting soda cold turkey, so I'm gonna need you all to help me.
Yeah, I don't really care about
It's strictly gonna be H2O. Now I can put some Crystal Light or something in that, but that's it.
Judge. That's a diet.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Is that a diet? What are the first three letters of diet?
I know, but I'm not doing soda. Not gonna do it, gonna cut it out. No, I tried sparkling water. It just doesn't taste right. No,
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like mineral water. And guys.
Other than this yesterday.
Mhm.
Just like,
So you think I should do it cold turkey? Is that what you're telling me?
No, not cold turkey, Judge.
Am I gonna get the shakes if I?
No, I think you're gonna be. Afraid you're gonna be.
Yes. Norma, do you think if I quit cold turkey, I'm gonna say, I know it's midnight, but we're gonna continue.
I'm doing one to 19. Tuna. I just replaced it once we. My number.
All right, I've got to quit.
That's how I, and then. we totally haven't had a quota, like,
See, once I quit cold turkey and then I used one and then it's a slippery slope. Once you do one soda, you're like, sugar, where have you been all my life? Is this your client?
It is.
Okay, thank you. All right, I need everyone to please whisper. All right, can I see someone on family violence on this travel permit? Are you Mr. Rivero?
Unmute yourself, Mr. Rivero.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I have before me where there is a request to travel. We're going to go on the record. The court is calling NIMAG number 713626, State of Texas versus, how do you pronounce his first name? Jairo Rivero, Jairo. So the court has a motion requesting permission to travel, leaving on August 4th and returning on September 1st. State, do you have any objection?
Your Honor, the state is not in agreement, so I guess by virtue of that, we're objecting, but the state is not making any argument. I guess the state would be silent on this motion.
All right, well, state, let's not be silent. He says he's going to Port Arthur, Texas with his family. And is this family including the complainant?
No, Your Honor.
Right. Who is the family that he's going with?
I believe it's an aunt and mother and.
It's my mother and grandmother.
Oh, leave out the aunt.
All right, so those are the only people who are going?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Rivera, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Jairo Rivero.
All right, this trip that's from August 4th through September 1st, who are you going with?
I'm going by myself.
No, I mean, it says that you want to visit your family. Who are you visiting?
It's my mother and grandmother.
All right. Any objection, state?
No objection.
And you're requesting this?
I'm requesting this travel for Mr. Rivera.
And Mr. Rivero, do you have any conditions of your bond? Anything specifically you have to do while you're on bond?
Check in on a weekly basis.
All right, and that's what pretrial services?
I've already checked in with them. I would need to check in with the actual bond company on a weekly basis. Pretrial provided me a different another check-in date after the UA.
All right, so I'll allow the travel, but I'm going to ask that you do a UA upon return.
Sure, thank you.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further on state.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, your attorney will have a copy of this and he'll let pretrial services know that you are allowed to travel from August 4th through September 1st.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who is the interpreter here for Jesus Martinez Cantu? Okay, all right, thank you. Yes. 6. All right, thank you.
I need a minute with my client before we're ready.
All right, just let me know when you're ready.
It'll be about 5 minutes.
August 17th. Let me check. No, we're not gonna have one, but you can still put things there. If I leave, I'll leave on the 16th. And I won't do that till that Monday. But let me just see before we even do anything. Hold off on that until I talk to you. Let me check lights and everything.
And I know like CPS, we had it in the past, but I know that. Yeah.
Renee Garza? Who's here on Renee Garza? Thank you.
But I didn't know if there was-
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. How are you doing today? It's always great when it's Friday's Eve.
Judge, I don't even consider it Friday until I leave the office on Friday.
Well, we've started thinking of it as Friday's Eve because once Friday is done, your weekend is done.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, I'm gonna need you to whisper. We're on the record. Court is calling 2019 CR 13241, State of Texas versus Renee Garza Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Luis Martinez on behalf of Mr. Garza.
Are you Mr. Garza?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We're on the record, so I'm gonna need you to whisper. If you're in the box, I'm gonna need you to whisper. It is Friday's Eve, so let's try to make the court reporter's job as easy as possible. All right, we're back on the record. Mr. Garza, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Renee Garza Jr. who was placed on community supervision in 2019 CR 13241 for the offense of driving while intoxicated third or more on March 2nd, 2021 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, we are asking for a reset date to set this for a contested MTR. We're asking for about 6 weeks' time.
All right, I'm going to say this with the patience that's in my heart. We are trying to make the court reporter's job as easy as possible. So if you all would let me know beforehand, y'all doing contested, she wouldn't have to type in that paragraph.
Sorry, Dan.
No, Hank, I'm not even blaming you. We're going to put this right at Lewis's feet.
Well, I mean, Judge, I did let the staff know. I don't know how I could have been.
You should have just stopped me in the middle. Excuse me, Judge. I'm fine with
No, they
that.
have stopping judges in the middle much, Judge.
Okay. All right. How much time are you all asking for?
6 weeks, Judge.
I can do this tomorrow, Judge.
Oh, well, I don't know if the state's going to be ready tomorrow. Norma, they need a contested hearing on this case. They're asking for 6 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I can do, on the 14th, September 14th.
All right. September 14th. Is everyone okay with September 14th?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form, and that will be your contested date. All right, you still need to make sure that you check in with probation and take your test. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Once they give you a reset form and you sign it, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Judge, we're ready on Mr. Hanson.
All right, if you all come forward.
She's gonna put the headphones on real quick.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
All right, just give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 8119, State of Texas versus Jesus Eduardo Martinez Cantu. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Travis Banks in the state of Texas.
defense?
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Jesus Eduardo Martinez Cantu?
See.
Yes.
All right, we do have an interpreter here. If you could raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Arlene Abrams, license number 2081.
All right. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state,
Yes, Your Honor.
defense?
Yes,
Any objections to the PSI report, state,
No objections.
defense?
no, Judge, just argument.
According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison, and the state is remaining silent on your application. However, the state does reserve the right to speak to any factual issues. Defense, you may proceed.
Yeah, Judge, if I could correct one thing, I did want to make a clarification. The page 2 shows 3 arrests for the defendant. There's actually only one, the second and third charges, one was created in error and one was rejected as extraneous offense. I think it was more of a clerical issue. But speaking to the instant offense, my client engaged in a consensual sexual relationship with a girl who had told him she was 17. She was not, obviously. The big issue is his actions have affected him and essentially harmed his family. The court had appointed an immigration lawyer on this case, and whether he gets probation or deferred, or whether he gets TDC, he's going to be deported. And like the only issue is a question of when. And obviously, my client's aware he broke the law, and he is willing to accept the consequences. His wife is actually present, which surprisingly enough, and she's supportive. She doesn't feel comfortable testifying. She doesn't speak English either. But I did talk with her through the court, through the translator about what was happening. They have two children together who are going to be affected and harmed by his actions, but that's the consequences of his decision. And he understands that. I would ask the court to consider granting him deferred so he can be deported right away and attempt to at least support the family from Mexico. I'm not aware of their immigration status. That's not part of my job. And if the court does not feel it's appropriate to grant him deferred, I'd ask the court to sentence him as low as possible based upon the facts. And give him credit for the time served so he can try to get out as soon as possible. And get back to Mexico and try to support his family.
All right. Anything you wish to say, Mr. Cantu?
No.
No.
You sure?
See.
Yes.
Judge, I talked to him. He didn't feel comfortable saying anything.
Okay. All right. I always review everything, and I did review the PSI report. I did review the stipulations that were entered into. And I do note from reading the stipulations that the complainant states that she told you that she was 17. And my understanding is that the complainant was actually 16 and not 17.
Correct, Judge.
And I do note that the state has not had any contact with the complainant for a long time, or with the complainant's mother. Then finally, the state was able to reach the complainant's mother again. But according to the PSI report, there has been no response.
That's my understanding as well, Judge.
All right, Mr. Cantu, the court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Chapter 62 registration is a lifetime registration. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay,
No, do you understand?
I'll talk to him about it.
I understand.
I'll explain everything to him, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
See.
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right. And as a part of your sentence as well, the court will order that there's to be no re-entry into the United States unless it's done legally. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing further from the state.
Not from defense, Judge.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Cantu, you would not be in this situation if you would have been faithful to your wife. And you have to ask yourself, is this 2 years worth what you did? And because the way the law is written, I would always tell my clients, these are basically statutory. Either you did it or you didn't do it. There is no excuses. The law is the law, and the law says if somebody is under the age of 17, you cannot engage in this conduct. Doesn't matter if they told you they were 17 or 18, or they look like they're 17 or 18 or 19. I tell my students that all the time, and that goes for the females as well. Doesn't matter if the boy, the girl tells you they're 17, 18, or 19, or they look 17, 18, 19, or if they're at the club. If they are underage and you engage in contact with them of this nature, it's illegal. You understand? All right, so look to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Do you need me to sign anything?
Yes, please, Your Honor. my approach.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Maybe you skip.
Yes. Who's here on Selena Perez? Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, for real this time.
Okay. Court is calling 2015 CR 1686A, State of Texas versus Selena Ann Perez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state.
defense?
Brad Thornton for defense.
And are you Selena Ann Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Selena Ann Perez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2015 CR 1686A for the offense of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on August 31st, 2015 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 5. In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Selena Ann Perez did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer for the months of February, March, and April 2019 in violation of condition number 5.
Is that true or not true?
That is true.
And Your Honor, we waive and abandon the other violations.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court's going to find violation of condition number 5 true. Counsel, I need you to fill out the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal form.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. All right, is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We are asking you to find the defendant guilty. And the state will take into consideration cause number NM 720021 and sentence the defendant to 5 years TDC.
All right, cause number 720021.
Yes.
What is that charge?
That's possession in a possessing a prohibited substance in a correctional facility.
Are you asking the court to follow this agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
In defense, is this the agreement?
It is.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Selena Bettis.
All right. Why are you not reporting for probation?
I just had some, my children, my daughter had baby and I had to help her because of,
How does that exclude you from being able to pick up the phone and report to probation?
I made a mistake, ma'am. I understand that I made a mistake. That's why I'm willing to.
Nope, you didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Let me explain to you what's the difference between a mistake and a choice. Let's say I come to court, I have a black umbrella because it's raining outside. I know it's going to rain outside. The person sitting next to me has a black umbrella. And when I leave the court, I grab my umbrella because I know it's raining outside. I go outside, I open the umbrella to protect myself from the rain, and I look underneath the umbrella and my initials are not there. That's a mistake. I mistakenly took the wrong black umbrella. Let me tell you what a choice is. I don't know it's going to rain. My mom hasn't called me and said, Stephanie, it's going to rain. Be sure to take your umbrella. And I come to court and I'm sitting next to somebody who has an umbrella and people are saying, ooh, it's raining outside. And I say, curses, I don't have my umbrella, but I don't want to get my hair wet. And I just take somebody's umbrella and I go outside. You know what that is? That's a choice. That's not a mistake. So you didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. So why did you choose not to report to probation?
May I speak with my attorney, ma'am?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Sorry, I'm scared. I was scared at the time, same as I am right now.
Okay, you're whispering and I can't hear
I
you.
said I was scared at the time, same as I am right now.
Scared of what? You were supposed to report. So
Yes,
what are you afraid of with reporting?
of being back here.
That makes no sense to me. If part of your conditions is for you to report, you report.
Yes.
So what is the fear of reporting?
I don't have a fear of reporting.
All right. All right, is there anything else? Has she done anything on probation?
Your Honor, if I
Yes.
may,
Have you done anything on probation?
Done some, yes, ma'am.
What have you done?
I mean, I know it doesn't show like as far as the narcotics, but the classes, but I did do some of the classes. I did need to do the community service, which, I mean, of course, I know it's not an option at this point, but I was willing to do probation and whatever I needed to do.
So what classes are you saying you've done?
Just the Narcotics and Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, so you've done AA meetings?
Yes, ma'am.
program. She's supposed to. The programs that were listed originally, no, none of those were completed.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. The court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. And take in consideration NIGHTMAG number 720021. If you would like, I would have you recommended for the therapeutic community. It doesn't increase the time that you're in custody, but they will be able to help you with any drug issues you say that you have. Would you like the court to refer you for that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'll ask for the therapeutic community. However, I have no jurisdiction to force them to place you in the therapeutic community, but they most definitely will not place you in the therapeutic community if you do not ask for it. All right, going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
You do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you're on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. You're going to have to do better with your life. Otherwise, you're going to continue to be back here. All right, and I'm sorry, one more thing on the record. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, we need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Thank you.
Who's here on Davis, Viegas?
Present on that, Judge.
All right, and are you all ready to proceed?
No, Judge, I was going to ask the court to give us a little bit of time. I visited with my client along with probation in the state. There is some potential information that I need to try to gather from him and his family regarding illnesses that he was receiving treatment for that might have an impact on the disposition on this case. I was just asking for 2 weeks. Whatever the court feels is reasonable. It is our first setting. And like I said, I believe we'll be ready after that in terms of disposing of this case.
Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
on this case, can you put this for Monday?
Monday?
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge,
All right.
I respectfully, Judge, I want to be a family law conference all next week, so if we could do the Friday or Monday of the following week, I'd be very appreciative.
All right. Well, if you want to call the family and speak to them about what his issues are.
He was, apparently he was involved in a shooting, Judge, and that was part of the reason why he had an inability to participate in some of the random drug testing. I was just going to try and see if I could get some of those records from his sister.
All right, if he, when you say he was involved in a shooting, are you saying he was shot?
He was a victim. He was not a party.
Were
to
the
it.
police called?
I believe so. I have to.
All right,
still
so
get
it's
all that.
easy for the state to look that up. So state, you all want to look that up?
Yes, sir.
And people can Google, everybody puts everything on Google now, and they'll be able to say that he was shot, and they'll be able to show what day he was shot. If he called the police,
The police were called, ma'am. I was rushed to SAMC. I was shot in my back. I was going to buy some cupcakes from the store. And it
no,
was-
just 1 second. That's what I'm saying. It will be in the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the only other thing, Judge, is he does also want to have a little bit of time to consider those plea options that we, or recommendations, I would say.
All right, so
So-
you can sit in the box and consider it, but they'll be able to look it up and see when you were shot. If you call the police and you're saying you called the police, it should be on Google and it should also be in their system. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right, thank you.
Judge.
Who's here on Tamar McIntyre?
Good morning, Your Honor. John
Good morning.
Gilmore on behalf of Mr. McIntyre.
All right, so where are we on discovery?
Judge, just to let you know, there's a pretty much of a mountain of, there's 7 boxes.
Okay,
Of not necessarily all the case in chief, I guess, I mean, the actual event, but
Mhm.
there's several different letters and other things that I've talked to Mr. Jerry Goldstein, that is part of the defense team
Mhm.
earlier or yesterday. I know he's out of town along with John Hunter, who's having his first child or second child, I believe,
Mhm.
or his wife is rather.
okay,
And so I am in conference with them. So discovery is still not up to spec yet, so
Calm down, please.
I
Need to be taking photos. Step outside, sir.
I think
Thank you.
another setting.
oh, just 1 second. Who's taking photos?
This gentleman right here, sir.
Excuse me, could you all divide a little bit? Who are you?
My name is Gabe.
All right, and why are you taking photos in the court?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been.
No, my question is not, I'm sorry. My question is, why are you taking photos in court?
I was just being foolish.
All right. And what's your full name?
My full name is Gabriel Gobert.
All right. Do you have any cases pending in this court?
I'm here for MTR. Court date.
Could somebody look him up and see if he has a motion to revoke?
He does. It's Colonel Whitman's attorney.
All
Page
right.
30 by Judge.
So who are you taking photo of without their permission?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
Erase
No.
it.
Who?
Nobody, I'm sorry.
No, you're going to show your phone to the deputy and you're going to erase that photo you took. Do you understand?
Yes,
Sorry about that. All right, so if I reset this for 60 days, is that enough time or do y'all need more time for discovery?
Well, I.
Here's the thing, ask for your hopes, wishes and dreams. And then,
That's one thing.
and then we'll see where we're at.
Days I can confer with the defense team and get to where we probably need to get and have an answer to you in 60 days, Your Honor.
All right. See, I was going to give you guys 90 days, but since you say you only need 60,
Well, I
That's
know,
it.
I profusely lie, but my timeline, as Grover mentioned, I am terrible with timelines.
yes, okay.
and if it were Mr. Goldstein's choice, he would prefer the 90 days, but it's whatever the court would prefer. We did have a motion on file requesting 60 days. So that's perfectly fine with us, Your Honor.
All right. So this will come back in 60 days for discovery to make sure that everybody has their discovery and everybody's had a chance to review the discovery. Then the next step after that, in this court, I require everyone to make a plea offer. Whether or not you accept it or not, of course, is completely up to you. And then I give people plea deadline date. And then after that, it's jury trial date. So Ms. Ferguson, on McIntyre, if I can have a 60-day reset for discovery. All right, October 5th. Is there anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor, other than we appreciate it and appreciate no more for the day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, may I reapproach on Mr. Villegas?
Sure. Let me just write this down. Just 1 second. I have to write everything down. Just give me a
Same way,
second.
Judge, I actually have a little attorney note sheet now that I
Yeah.
complete so that I can tell my staff I don't have to keep repeating myself. I can't read my handwriting. So,
All right, yes.
Mr. Villegas, Judge, the state was nice enough to take the court's directive and do a search. We couldn't find anything where charges were pending against someone where he was listed as a victim, and the Google search didn't really pull up much. If the court needs to recall it on Monday, I will work around my seminar. I'll do what I've got to do. But I, in all due fairness to him. I
Hold on
wanna
just
make
1
sure that-
second. So what are you asking for, counsel?
Judge, I'm just asking for a little bit of time to make sure I can ferret out some of the information that my client provided me this morning. If the court needs to recall us on Monday, I will work around my schedule and make that happen. It would be nice if the court could give me to the following Monday, but again, I will do whatever the court needs to do. But in all fairness to my client, I feel that I have a due diligence duty to him to talk to his panel members to see what I can do with whatever amount of time the court gives me.
All right, and where is this CLE that you're taking?
It's the advanced family law, Judge. It's
I'm
here.
sorry?
It's advanced family law. It's going to be here at the Marriott, as it always is every year.
All
It
right,
starts on Monday at 9
at 9?
and it runs
If-
from Monday to Thursday.
Do you know when your break is there?
I think they do a short 15-minute break around 10:15. I haven't really looked at the calendar.
Because if you would like, I would allow you to do it by Zoom.
I mean, that's fine. Or I'll just come here and I'll run a little late, Judge. I'll be here at 9 sharp.
Okay.
And get it done. I mean, I don't want to delay anything for the court, and I know my client's in custody, so.
And that's my concern. He's in custody.
I know, Judge, and I understand. I mean, like I said, I'll do what I got to do.
All right, so we'll come back on Monday, the 7th. And if there's an issue, just let the court know.
I will, Judge.
All right, Ms.
Okay.
Ferguson. On Davis Villegas, we're gonna come back on August 7th at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate
And
that,
counsel,
Bill.
if something happens where you decide you looked at the schedule and you want to do it during a break, just let us know.
Okay, Judge, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Can we be excused?
Yes, Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
because this was reduced to a misdemeanor, can you write up a reset form?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you then.
Thanks, Judge. Appreciate it.
Yes. just hold on.
I already wrote it on mine. I don't think-
Yeah, you can-
Adis Hernandez Rivas.
That's why they have those, right?
I'm present for him, Harold.
Oh, bring him down.
Oh, he only speaks Spanish. You need an interpreter?
Yes, just give us a second. S.
I have Wesley Crawford as well.
All right. Norma, can you call down an interpreter? An interpreter?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And do you know, is your client a citizen or not?
He's not.
Do you need an immigration attorney as well? I mean, I know what the rules are with it, but probably would be best to just have one so they can prepare. a letter.
I can't ask for one. I don't believe that this trajectory is going to any type of plea at this point.
Okay. And Norma, he's going to need an immigration attorney. All right, the interpreters usually get here about 5 minutes.
Right, I thought maybe Wesley Crawford was next.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
Wesley Crawford. Where's, come forward. I think this is this criminal trial?
Teresa.
So the last thing I had, he was in the hospital.
He has been restored to competency on it.
Okay. So have you had a chance to confer with the state?
I have.
Do you have all the discovery?
I believe I do. And they've made a counteroffer today. My client has rejected that. So I need a trial setting judge.
State, how long do you expect this trial to last?
Season chief, you ought to just like 2 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, this will be a 2-day trial. And it's on Wesley Crawford, and we'll need a quick one. A quick turnaround.
Do you guys want me to send out an impact board, just in case any cutters get called?
When is that?
That's the 21st.
Judge, I'm especially set in Uvalde for a sex case that they've been resetting me because I keep getting stuck in Bear County. So they
Okay.
gave me a special setting on the
Okay.
21st. That it should be done in 4 days.
Okay. She's specially set out of county.
Okay. I also have them going on the 29th as well. You guys are set.
August 29th.
Sure.
29.
Yeah, y'all have,
No parece,
I
señor.
don't have that marked down.
hold on.
I know the 186 has impact on the 28th.
They'll work.
Yeah, they sent me there.
We're all the next-
Mhm.
no, the seventh.
Nobody likes me.
What?
You can do September 12th.
Judge, on September 12th, I'm gonna take my mother on her dream vacation of a lifetime to Spain.
Oh, wow.
After she kicked cancer, I promised her that I would take her. and
Oh,
that's
you
the
have to
week.
do that. The only thing that would stop that if you decide to stay here, try the case, I get a visiting judge and I take your mom. I could do that.
I'm not gonna be able to
She's
do
a
that.
handful.
Yeah. All right, so what,
October 10th.
October 10th?
Winner, winner.
All right, we'll be back on October 10th. And October 10th will be your plea deadline date and jury trial date.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
Does he need a written reset? Judge?
Yes, they're gonna give him a reset form.
All right, have a seat and I'll get you that. And then the interpreter is here for Mr. Rivas.
All right, hi. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Oh, great. It's a beautiful day. It's Friday's Eve.
Yes, it is.
All right, so her client is Adis Hernandez Rivas, Adis. Adis. I never know where the accent falls. And it's cause number 2023 CR 4371A. And is this criminal trial division as well too?
Yes.
All right. So we are back here for a setting. The last time we were here, I know you were in Del Rio. And so it was for discovery. Where are we on discovery?
Judge, I've received some stuff. I believe I'm still waiting on a couple other things. I'm not sure I have all the reports for the autopsy. I've talked to Mr. Garaham this morning to let him know that I am missing a few things. So he asked me to ask him for one more reset to have the discovery complied with.
Yes, right.
60 days, is that enough time?
Yes, yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a 60-day reset for discovery?
I guess, I can put it the same day as you wanted to.
Sure.
All right, the 10th
Yes, what was it, October?
is October 10th.
10/10.
That's a Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, so we'll,
Discovery, Judge.
yes, that's discovery. You don't want a shock to say, nope, it's trial.
Well, make sure Angelini's not here.
October 5th.
Oh.
That's the other day.
Is it?
Okay,
Oh, that's when, yeah, that's the other murder that's coming back.
all right, so you want October 5th or October 10th?
October 10th would be best, but if you want to put me October 5th, I can come here at that. Well,
All right, we'll put it down for October 10th. And Mr. Hernandez, that will be the day that both attorneys will make sure they have all the discovery. And then after that, the state will be able to tender an offer, and I'll give you a quick turnaround date for a plea deadline date. Do you have any questions? No. All right, thank you.
de acuerdo me entregando la dirección de verdad, ¿ok?
Alice.
Who's here on Angel Montoya? All right, so we have the motion to revoke and we have a new number 1. Where are we?
Yes, Your Honor, the state tendered an offer, global offer to resolve both the new charge and the MTR. I believe Mr. Piker wanted a reset to confer with his client regarding both matters.
I do. There's video involved and there's a witness and there may be a missing complaining witness. And I mean, this is a first setting. I want to be able to develop that and make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, set it in 30 days and set is that enough time, counsel?
I believe so.
All right, and give me the 30-day reset for a contested MTR. And then the new case will be in 30 days as well.
September 5th.
Is September 5th good for you, counsel?
Yes.
All right, we're going to come back on September 5th. On that date, we'll have a contested hearing and we'll see what happens with the other case.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Deputy Laura, I'm trying not to jinx us. I'm sorry, I just put it in the universe, didn't I? Oh. Chase Gordon, and are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, we have an announcement for the court, Your Honor.
What is that announcement?
Yes, Judge. So in reference to this motion to enter adjudication of guilt, we have a proposition in the works for potential DDRF, mental health inpatients.
All right, you all are all in the wrong place. You're over there, counsel.
For DDRF inpatient judge, this is the duly diagnosed residential facility through probation. The only issue, Judge, is at this time, he's being charged with a new allegation. This is the first time I brought up the new number one to the states. And they just needed to confirm with the CW that she just in fact does not want to move forward with charges and ultimately just wants him to get help. Just to.
All right, does anybody want to call the complainant now?
The state just attempted to make a phone call to the complainant and left a voicemail at the only number we have currently for the complaint.
Do you have the complainant's number?
Judge, she's listed as Jane Doe in the offense reports. So my plan was to get with my client's mother to have her get with the complaining witness to get in contact with the state just to corroborate.
All right, let's do this. Why don't you talk to your complainant? Find out what his mother's number is, if he knows it, or the complainant's number, and you and the state can talk to the complaining witness. So if the agreement is for DDRF and people are telling me there's mental health issues, which it appears to be because I ordered a MIC evaluation, that way we can move him on his way so that he can get the mental help he needs depending on what the complainant says.
Yes, Your Honor. Do you know the number of your mom? Okay, we'll work on that, Judge, and we approach when we get the information.
Yes.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Donna, do you need a break? Okay. All right, everyone, I'm going to take a 2-minute break, 2 minutes.
Ready to proceed in the second, or are you?
All right, the next case that's going to be called is Alejandro Trevino. Before that starts, state, I think this is family violence. On Trevino, I've been given documents to review. Are you all okay with me reviewing those?
Yes, Your Honor, and additionally, I want to make sure that you receive. Okay,
All right, so once I review these, I'll call you up.
okay, thank you.
Yours. Okay, all right, thank you. State and defense on this case, Trevino.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez. They said that this is a part of the file as well, and I don't know if both parties had a chance to see that.
I'm not, this is that statutory victim impact packet.
I haven't,
I think he may have handed it to me.
yes, I haven't read it.
Remember when you just brought this up?
Oh, okay.
That may have been.
Okay.
I apologize. That was not something I submitted, Judge.
No, this is, no, this is.
No, I'm just
that
saying that-
statutory victim impact.
Yes,
So you're
so
allowed to look at it. if
I
you-
don't know if you've
your
had a
request.
chance to review that. I haven't reviewed it because I wanted to make sure you all reviewed it first and there were no objections.
It's one of the statutes, I think technically the statute says the defense. Can
Review it, but not copy it, yeah.
Yeah.
I just need to approach the bench. I've confirmed with the state, everybody involved. Mason Dion. He has two cases. One is indicted, one is an MTR.
You're right on
Taking people out. That's all right.
All right.
That was, no, that was the first copy. She just handed it.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
whatever if you have is what I have on that. I mean, I will suggest. They will make it if they're possible. But this is what's going to be.
I'm ready to approach the bench.
Norma, Matt, you need to contact
No, it's gonna happen.
the MAC. Okay, just contact them and we'll see what's up with that. And I'll talk to his client.
Like maybe the report is.
It wasn't.
No, it's that there's not one, I don't know what it is. That makes sense, like. Definitely do that. And I was going to be in. I was there the next one. I guess.
Are you just like guessing?
I just don't have any, I don't get. But they're mentioned, but they get something, you don't have any.
Maybe don't be talking in the box. No talking.
Gilbert. There's to be no sleeping in this courtroom. Do you understand? All right, court is going to call 2023 CR 0034, State of Texas versus Alejandro Hernandez Trevino. Can I have the parties approach and announce for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state,
Defense?
Justin Gonzalez for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Trevino?
Yes, Your Honor.
You entered a plea of no contest to count one on June 12, 2023. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt as you had applied for deferred adjudication. And just one moment here. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 silent, and the state is remaining silent on your application. Of course, they reserve the right to speak to factual issues. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No,
Defense?
no objection.
And the court has read the documents that were submitted by the defense without objection. And those were letters from family members and people who know Mr. Trevino. And also the court has reviewed the documentations from Texas A&M University. And counsel, would you like the letters back or no?
Yes.
Yes.
And Your Honor, in the PSI report, it indicates that the victim's mother had not called back. The victim's mother did send a victim impact statement earlier this week. I wanted to make sure the court was in possession of that addition.
And the court does have that by email. Any objection to the court reviewing that, defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, just give me one moment. All right, the court has reviewed that. Any other objections to the PSI report, state? Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
No objections to the PSI report.
All right, any witnesses by either party?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, you may call your witness.
Thank you. I'd first like to call Pastor George Ramirez.
All right,
Jimmy, send him here, please.
Pastor George Ramirez. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
George M. Ramirez Jr.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Can you please introduce yourself to the court and explain to the judge where you work?
Yes, so my name is George M. Ramirez Jr. I am a community pastor for a ministry called Immersion Outfitters on 1604 Braun Road. And I serve as the leader for that ministry, overseeing men and women's Bible studies and teachings. And that's how I met Alejandro.
Okay, and please explain to the court how you met Alejandro.
Sure. So one of the ladies who comes to our women's study was a former coworker of his and had reached out and asked for prayer for Alejandro. And I made contact with him. And for the last year, I've been meeting with him weekly, once a week, to counsel.
And sir, can you please explain to the judge what it is that you and Alejandro have been doing together for the past year?
Absolutely. So again, in our meetings, my counseling is biblical counseling with him. Looking at the choice that he made and looking at how to use the tools that God has given him to be able to address those things, being very open in our conversation. Again, using the Bible as our guidance to counsel him.
And so you are aware of the charges of why he's before the court today.
I am, yes.
In the times that you've worked with him, has he ever denied what he did that day?
No.
Those days?
From the very beginning, he's been very honest about his word choice. And it has made it even a point in every one of our meetings to not only pray for his situation, but for the victim as well and her family.
And so in working with him, has he expressed remorse for his actions at that time?
Very, very remorseful, repentant heart as well for that choice. Yes.
And together, have you guys been working towards ways to prevent anything like this from ever happening again?
We've looked at also, the tools that has and in looking at, accountability, not only just on our one-on-one meetings, but even through some of the technology as well.
And would you describe yourself as a person who's holding him accountable?
I would, yes.
Okay. And how so?
Well, number one, and it's something that I wanted to make note of, is I was a victim of this exact thing, which was very difficult to overcome. And again, knowing that God has healed me and he can do that. And even to give me a heart to be able to reach out to someone who has caused pain to another person and help them with stuff.
And have you seen in the past year positive changes with Alejandro?
Very positive. He's opened up. He has shared a lot about what he has gone through. And again, regardless of the outcome of today, that he would continue on this path.
And do you feel that he would be an excellent candidate for supervision and working in the community?
I do. I think Alejandro would best suit the community to be part of it and be productive. But I do understand it.
And if the judge does grant that, will you continue working with Alejandro to hold him accountable for his actions?
Absolutely. Number one, Alejandro is accountable himself, but as a support to him, I definitely would be there to have him, and our men's group would love to have him weekly. Yeah.
And when you met with him, did you meet with him just online through counseling or also in the home?
No, we met personally. Majority of our meetings were in the home, although we did use Zoom and did do phone calls. While I traveled to Africa as well. We have a ministry there. So when I was there, we did still continue to meet on Zoom.
And so you've met his parents.
I have, yes.
And does he help in the care of his parents?
He's a very vital role in the care of his father and his mother in the home. And so, again, I think it would be best with supervision and that he would be able to be productive and help the family out.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness.
State.
Just briefly, what is the demographics of your church?
Yes.
All right, excuse me, everyone, make sure you whisper.
No. So again, we are primarily a men's ministry. We have about 200 members. But we also have a women's group that my wife leads. She's a pastor as well. And then we have a larger group in Africa, which is about 400 members in Liberia, West Africa.
Are there children that attend your church?
They are. We have youth groups, and myself and my wife, we do teach youth Bible studies as well.
Is there a teen program? Like a young teen church program?
Well, we designate it as youth, so that would be anywhere from 5th grade through high school. Kind of group. Yeah.
And are there services where the groups are intermingled, like a congregation?
Co-ed or, yes, so we do have co-ed. Again, we have leadership that helps and assists with co-ed Bible studies, and that's primarily what we do. We don't have them segregated, they are together.
Okay. No further questions.
All right, anything else?
Nothing further.
All right, you may call your next witness.
I call Alejandro Trevino.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Alejandro Hernandez Trevino.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Alejandro, who are your parents?
Ruben and Patricia Trevino.
And are they here today in court with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And have they come to all of the court settings with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please give the judge a little bit of information about your parents.
Yes, they're, wonderful. My dad, has been a hard worker his whole life. Has had major bodily injury due to his work. He's had back surgery, 2 knee surgeries. He's in to get a new back surgery, hopefully a knee replacement. My mom has battled cancer, which was really hard. And she beat it, but every day, you just think, and they're the best things in this world, and it hurts, that I hurt them, but I'm hopefully will continue to help them regardless of the time frame, but
So let me ask you this, sir. Do you currently live with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you help care for them?
Yes, ma'am.
Has your father had physical falls where you've actually had to help pick them up and take them to a safe place?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you've graduated high school. What other degrees have you received?
I have an associate's in engineering from Blinn College and a bachelor's degree in engineering from A&M University.
Up until your arrest, were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you lost that job when you were arrested, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been on bond conditions this entire time?
Yes.
Do you remember when you went on the monitor, what the date was?
I think around May 16th,
Okay.
I believe.
And was that full house arrest or partial house arrest?
Full house arrest.
And to your knowledge, have there been any violations reported to the court while you've been on bond?
No, ma'am.
Now, before we came up here today, did you review with me the PSI and TAP report?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree with everything that was written in there?
Yes, ma'am.
If the judge is to give you and grant your application for deferred adjudication, are you willing to follow any and all conditions of the supervision?
Any and everything.
You understand that with the offense, no matter if the judge grants your application or if you're sent to prison, you will be having to comply with Chapter 62 for the rest of your life,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? Have you done your own research to understand what that's going to entail?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, specifically, after we reviewed the TAP evaluation and the PSI report, did I hand you the second document, the email from the victim's mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you review that letter?
Yes.
Were you aware of the mental health issues with the victim prior to your relationship with her?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did reading that open your eyes?
Yes,
Okay, how so?
you don't think what your actions mean until you see it. And that hurts more than all of this. I, being responsible for those feelings and uh that hurts because I don't want to be responsible uh for someone being in pain. I and that hurts more than anything, and I am deeply sorry. And I just hope that God helps everyone, and and
Now, when you say you don't want to be responsible, you understand you are responsible.
yes, ma'am.
You're not denying anything.
No, ma'am.
And if the judge grants you your supervision, or even if the judge does send you to prison, will you continue spending the rest of your life making up and feeling sorry for what you did?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness.
Your Honor, I have no questions.
All right. And you were aware that the complainant was underage, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there any other questions?
There's no other questions and there's no other witnesses, just argument.
All right, the court will hear argument, and I appreciate your honesty.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client, the reason we submitted the documents to you is I've gone through all of the evidence with my client. So he is well aware of what was submitted in the plea agreement and the stipulations, as well as anything that was and everything that was conducted during the investigation. He has, Brittany.
Oh, sorry.
He has no questions or no disputes about anything that was presented. Even with me in our conversations, he was always very honest about his actions. Yes, he did know how old she was. However, to him, in his mind, even though she was younger, this was a relationship and he believed that. And then I believe it's even in either the prosecution guide or the later statement, is the two of them had discussed everything, recognized that it was wrong, and then that's when everything ended. He was later arrested. He was always honest about everything. He is simply asking for the court's mercy in allowing him to go on to deferred adjudication. No matter what happens, he is always going to regret his decisions at that time. However, by granting his application, he'll be able to stay home. He'll be able to continue caring for his family. He'll be able to continue making amends there and receiving the treatment while he is on the supervision. And so that is what he is asking for. And he understands that that is asking a lot. He understands and recognizes the pain that he's put on everybody else, not just the victim, but also the victim's mother and her family. And he only hopes to be able to show you that he will be able to complete the supervision in a timely and orderly fashion and never come back in front of this court ever again.
Right. Any closing?
Your Honor, we're silent on ourselves. I maintain my silence.
So, Mr. Trevino, I do appreciate the fact that you've done a lot of things to change yourself and work on yourself. The issue with this case and what sticks out in my mind, this is not an issue where you did not know she was underage. If this were an issue where you knew that or thought that she was of age, maybe I would be doing something differently. So I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to require Chapter 62 registration. There's to be no contact with the complainant. I'm going to give you credit for any time served. I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Okay? All right, we can go off the record. I've had plenty of people to appear before me charged with an offense like this. And I will tell you, you are the first person who has truly acknowledged what they did was wrong and are actually working on bettering themselves. Good luck to you. Oscar Martinez. Who's here on Oscar Martinez?
I think Mr. DeLeon stepped down. Go down, Oscar Martinez.
Angela Gonzalez.
I know.
Hello. Yes.
Would it be okay if I gave Mr. Robinson a piece of paper to write out a letter?
I'm sorry, who?
Mr. Robinson?
Oh, sure.
Oh, thank you.
Just let the deputy know.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Court is calling 2020 CR 5322C, State of Texas versus Angela Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Defense?
Larry Bloomquist for the defense.
Are you Angela Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Angela Gonzalez who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 5322C for the offense of robbery on November 19, 2020 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
State?
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 31st day of March 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Angela Gonzalez, committed the offense of assault in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Any objections to the waivers?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 5 years in prison and up to $1,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? I
Yes,
can't
we
hear.
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Judge, is to continue the defendant on probation, to add a no contact order with the victim in the assault case, to add in anger management and MRT, and she's also going to take the plea in the misdemeanor case to run concurrent with this one. And that's county court cause number, sorry, I had it in front of me. 709518.
All right. Probation. Has she done anything on probation other than commit a new offense?
Yes, Your Honor. Her UAs for the last year at least have been negative. There's been a couple of diluted. She did finish the outpatient program. She completed her parenting class. And she did obtain her high school diploma.
All right. What is this assault about?
Judge, there was there's her boyfriend's daughter, who she is, her boyfriend's sister, who she is right now my client, her primary caretaker. She was involved in a fight at school, and my client, instead of breaking up the fight, she did punch that young lady. And I think that.
So students are in a fight. She goes to the school and
There's some parents trying to break up the fight, and my client starts to try to break up the fight, but loses her cool and punches the young lady.
And when you say young lady, are we talking about a child?
I would guess, yes. I don't know her exact age. I think she's about 15 years of age.
Okay.
And what I would just tell the court, and if you want me, I can call my client as a witness.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. Can you raise your?
Sure. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, you do.
You can lower your hand if you state your name for the record.
Angela Gonzalez.
All right. So what have you learned since you've been on probation?
Honestly, Judge, I learned a lot. I'm glad that you put me on probation the first time. I was able to get my diploma, and I actually got better jobs within the years that I've been on probation because of my diploma. Because of you, I'm able to see my other two kids that originally the kids' grandma wouldn't allow me to. We have a better bond. I get to see them every Sunday, and she lets me take them to the park, sit with them and be with them birthdays, holidays. That's something that I didn't have before you put me on probation, and I really want to say I do appreciate that. Right now, I did learn a lot, because me having to take care of my sister-in-law as well, it made me grow up a lot, just because my husband's mom suffers from seizures and strokes. So that put me on a higher level to where I need to be focused on my kids. It's not about anything else but my kids. I want them to have a better life than what I'm going through right now. They don't deserve for me to be here and then me missing out of their lives on all four of my kids. I just recently had a baby. He's 9 months. So I mean,
Who's with your baby now?
my sister's friend's mom. She's helping me babysit right now. So I mean, I just hope that you see that I did learn from this past years. I've been coming out clean again because of you, Judge. I stopped smoking. And it honestly, everything just bettered my life. And this was an honestly mistake. I did went to the school and I did talk to the principal.
Not a mistake. It was a choice, right?
A choice, my bad. I did talk to the principal. I tried to have a meeting with the other girl's mom. And like I said, at the time I was pregnant, it was a choice, not a mistake.
And let me just clarify that, Judge. Can I just ask you one question
No,
about that?
let me
Okay.
hear. Yes.
The school was just not taking that step to where she had to walk out of school campus to come home crying to us. We sent her back home thinking it was going to be the right thing, but turned out to be not the right thing. In my opinion, I should have just left her home and none of this would have happened. And I messed up. I honestly did. And I just hope that you could give me a second chance and let me prove you and everybody wrong.
And the point I wanted just to clarify for the judge is, Your Honor, she had actually reported that her daughter, or the girl who she considers her daughter, was being bullied after school by these several girls. And she had been reporting that to the school and they hadn't taken any action. And unfortunately, I think one thing I just tell the court is I've had extensive conversations with Angela. She's an extremely great person. She's made some bad decisions. And one of the things that I've been talking to her about is her need to make better decisions. And she's doing a lot of great things. Unfortunately, she had this horrible decision that she made that's put her in front of you. And I can tell the court, I feel like she's very, very remorseful for what's happened. I think she's realized that not only has she put herself in peril, but she's put the kids that she's caring for.
What steps have you taken with the school?
She longer doesn't go to that school. It was a middle school. I just enrolled her in Highlands High School.
Okay.
So, I mean, right now that school is out of I will never put my kids in that school just because they don't know how to take steps on how to protect their students.
All right, State.
So Judge, we were able to talk to the complainant in that case's family. It was very difficult getting a hold of them, but we were able to do that earlier this morning. I did explain what our options were. They did indicate that they were okay with this approach. I told them exactly what I was going to do. I don't know any of the claims of bullying. None of that came forward through the police reports or anything that we had available. So I can't substantiate that.
All right. So this is what the court is going to do. Court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions, probation, either anger management or MRT, not both. So whichever one probation feels would fit best for her, that's the one we'll go with. All right, is there anything else you need from the court? Well, I mean, I'm asking her. I hope you don't need, do you need anything else from me, counsel?
No, I wanted to thank the court because I believe that she's gonna do well. And I think that, I just want to thank the court.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, based upon what probation is telling me, she is doing well. So you need to continue doing what you're doing. You understand?
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
I promise you won't see me again.
All right, well, I can see you again if you completed everything and maybe you want to get off early. Yes.
Judge, I was just gonna ask for that no contact.
All right, and who's the complainant?
Her name is Victoria Rodella.
So no contact with Victoria. What's the last name?
Rodella, Rodela.
All right, so you're not to have any contact with that complainant. You understand?
Yes.
Only other thing, this is just a run concurrent with the misdemeanor case.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm going to make a schedule, Judge, to get complete on that as soon as possible.
All right, what is the cause number in that?
That's CC 709-518.
508?
518.
And state, we're off the record and state that you informed them downstairs what their plea should be?
So I did put a note in the system, exactly the details of the length of probation, the type of probation, the other conditions. I did say standard conditions, so they should know what to do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
So much. You have a good day.
You too. Deion Mason. All right, what is, Counselor on this side?
Wrong side.
Counselor, you prepared to proceed?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Deion Mason? It's family violence.
Would that be Brittany?
He's got a new number one for possession 4 to 2.
All right, do you all have an agreement? Who are you speaking with?
We are speaking on the state has no discovery yet, case is not yet indicted.
All right, could I see the state on Mason? They're saying there's a possession, I guess, 4 to 200 grams.
It's not, it's new, it's a night bag.
So counsel, if you want to confer with both family violence and criminal trial division.
I have conferred and right now the state has nothing, no file.
No, I mean, what is criminal trial division? Maybe they want to do something with the new number one.
Do not know.
All right, so if you all will step back, just talk to them briefly and then we'll bring it back up. All right, Norma, on Marco Marino, there's an interpreter that's needed for that one.
It's gonna be.
Okay, is it this one?
No, it's not.
All right, so whenever you call the interpreter down, I'll take this up too. I'll just leave that there. Angel Cruz? Is this being called again? Yes.
Did not appear. I just wanted you to know that I was here today, but he did not appear.
All right.
And then I think you have a second one that I'm on for Mr. Garcia, which is Marco Moreno Vasquez.
All right, we'll start with Angel Cruz, then we'll go from there.
Okay.
And Angel Cruz, before we go on the record, do you know if it's a commercial bond or?
I do not know, Judge. I'm sorry. I was just appointed.
It's 2023 CR 5893B.
Yes, it's up here.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna go on the record on that. Court is calling 2023 CR 5893B and 2022 CR 3368, State of Texas versus Angel Cruz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state.
Melissa Christian for the defendant.
All right, your client did not answer docket at this morning at 9 a.m. It is now 11:14 a.m. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Angel Cruz?
Yes, Your Honor, I did. There was no answer.
All right, defense, have you had any contact with your client?
I have not, Judge.
State?
State, Judge, we're asking for a bond revocation.
All right, in each cause number, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remand the defendant without bond. If he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
And then if you'll stay there, let me write this in and I'll take your next case up.
That sounds perfect. Thank you. Yes. So we're just gonna squeeze like that. We're showing you inside.
And who's your next client?
Judge, it is Marco Moreno Vasquez.
That's the one with the interpreter.
Yes, and
Is he
here's
even
the
here?
situation. It's actually David Garcia's case. And there is some missing discovery. The court has already reset the co-defendant to October 10th.
Okay.
We don't have the autopsy report and some other things. And so we're just asking to be reset to October 10th as well.
All right, is he out here or no?
He's not active.
Deputy Laura? On Marco Antonio Moreno Vasquez, I know you speak Spanish. Can you let him know that his case is being reset to October 10th?
Sorry, Your Honor, who's that again?
It's Marco Antonio Moreno Vasquez. And it's being recalled for October 10th for discovery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And Norma, that's on the 10th. Let me find him too.
Twenty 4371B.
I know it's on the page somewhere. Oh, it's on page 9. All right.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Gordon Chase. Yes. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, we are ready.
And you're ready to proceed with the motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 2543, State of Texas versus Chase Gordon. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks in the state of Texas.
Defense?
Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Gordon.
Are you Chase Gordon?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yeah, no.
Are you the same Chase Gordon who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 2543 for the offense of robbery on December 15th, 2021 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 2 on or about the 8th day of March, 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Chase Gordon, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
The state will waive and abandon the further answers.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? Court would find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement submitted to the court is that the motion be denied and that the defendant be continued on probation. However, the conditions should be altered and amended to include the dual diagnosis residential facility. And in consideration of that plea, the state is making a motion to reject cause number or night mag number 718-075.
718.
075.
All right. Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, is this your recommendation? To have him referred to DDRF?
Your Honor, it appears that his mental health
issues were not addressed. The recommendation from the management was for revocation. However, looking over the case, I believe he does need mental health treatment, and I think DDRF will be a good option for him.
All right. Then what the court will do, the court will deny the motion, alternate amend conditions to include DRF, and you'll be in custody for that. Taking consideration NIMAC number 718075 and probation. If for some reason he's not accepted into that program, if you'll let the court know, and we'll have him brought back.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll also keep an eye and calendar it as well. And if it's been too long without him being transferred, I can also give it to Sean as well.
All right. And Norma, can we give them a phantom date, please? And that's just for us to make sure that things are going the way they should be.
It's quite a little longer.
Mhm.
It's between 4 to 12 weeks.
Well, let's do this. Let's set it for 45 days just to make sure he hasn't fallen through in the process. And we'll do it as a phantom date and they'll be able to give us an update on the wait time.
Sure, sounds good, Judge.
I can do September 28th, Judge.
All right, so we'll come back on September 28th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Gordon, if for some reason you've already been transferred, then we won't have that date.
All right, sounds
All right. Is there anything else?
good. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from defense, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
I just wanted to make sure I gave you that file. I was looking for it.
Yes.
It's just for sentencing.
All right, thank you. All right, could I see the parties on Hector Lopez Nahara? With the interpreter, I believe. Who's the defense attorney?
I think it's Rolando Arguelles.
Norma,
Where did you go?
Yeah.
if you can call him, tell him he needs to be here now. All right, thank you so much for coming down.
Of course, Judge, anytime. We still have some other.
Is there anyone else that needs an interpreter?
Yeah, we have several of them.
All right, who needs the interpreter? What's your client's name?
Lázaro Giovanni Espinosa Ramos. Warning. Buy one, get one free.
All right, and if you'll make sure the interpreter has his cause number. Now, what's the last name?
Espinosa Ramos.
Yes, I have that. Thank you. You're, no, I didn't have it.
And Judge, just to give you a heads up, the state is gonna ask for more time just because
Okay.
due to trial.
All right, are you all ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Espinosa Ramos, we're here for two things. The first thing is discovery update, and then there's supposed to be an update involving if this was going federal or not. So does anyone have any update on the federal issue?
As far as I'm aware, it wasn't going federal. No one's reached out or let us know.
I'm still here. So, and then doing several federal cases, my understanding is they are inundated with cases and are not looking for extra work. So I would be very surprised if they took this.
All right. So then the next thing is concerning discovery.
My understanding is that I had burned a bunch of the things onto a hard drive for Danielle. So that was my understanding. I had done that previously. If not,
I'll check on that.
All right. So, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can we put this on the same date that Ms. Guerrero is coming back? Can we put this on the same date for discovery that she's already coming back?
October 10th.
All right, and is your client a citizen?
Who's not?
And Norma, we're going to need immigration on this as well.
Okay, I'll have, Sarah make the plan.
Okay.
I'll have her set up a meeting. And I'll have Sarah contact you, Monica.
Here.
All right. Is there anything else with regards to this case?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Espinoza Ramos, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone else here for an interpreter?
I am, Your Honor.
Do not leave when interpreter is called, Mr. Arguelles.
Morning, Judge. How are you?
Good morning. What's your client's name?
Hector Lopez.
Court is calling 2022 CR 10958D, State of Texas versus Hector Manuel Lopez Nahara. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Orlando Ruiz for the defense.
And are you Mr. Lopez Nahara?
Yes.
Mr. Nahara, all of the documents I'm going to review with you are in English. Were these documents explained to you in Spanish?
Yes.
And counsel, do you speak the Spanish language?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you speak it fluently?
Yes, Your Honor. That's my first language.
Yes.
To the interpreter, if you could please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
And if you could state your name for the record.
Norma Nero.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. And I did.
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nahara, did you review what's entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included offense of kidnapping.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Nahara, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand your charge, or at least the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of kidnapping? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Yes. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Your Honor, or was.
Mr. Nahara, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? No. Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
Could you repeat the question, Your Honor?
Has anyone promised you anything other than your plea bargain agreement? No. Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Yes. Are you a U.S. citizen? No. Counsel, did you advise your client of the consequences of entering a plea in this cause number as it relates to any immigration consequences?
Yes, Your Honor, just for the court, so where a Padilla letter was ordered 6 months ago. That should have been done.
And was it completed?
I believe it was, Judge. And I also did explain to him that he's probably going to be deported with this type of conviction on his record.
All right. Well, you know, according to case law, they no longer let you say probably.
He
So,
will be deported.
all right, Mr. Nahara, did you have a chance to speak with an immigration attorney regarding your plea in this case? Yes. Did that attorney inform you of the possible consequences of entering a plea of guilty or no contest as it relates to your immigration status? Yes. That those consequences include deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization? Yes. Did you understand the consequences of entering a plea bargain agreement in this case as it relates to your immigration status? Yes. And knowing those consequences, do you still wish to enter into a plea in this cause? How? Knowing the consequences, and when I say consequences, I mean your immigration consequences of entering a plea in this offense of kidnapping, do you still wish to continue with the plea? Yes. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the document entitled plea bargain agreement with your attorney? Did you understand it? Yes. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of kidnapping. Punishments be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There are no applications. You are to admit that you acted as a party with Fraulein Guzman Velasquez, Eric Alexander Lopez Gonzalez, and Randy Lopez Benitez. Did you understand that to be the plea? Yes. And do you agree that in regards to this offense, you were acting in concert with Fraulein Guzman Velasquez, Eric Alexander Lopez Gonzalez, and Randy Lopez Benitez? Yes. Do you understand that to be the plea? Yes. Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places? Yes. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Yes. Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Not at this moment, Judge.
Then to the offense of kidnapping, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
And no objections, Your Honor, for purposes of the plea.
All right, you may continue to confer. Mr. Nahara, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court is reviewing the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of kidnapping. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Johan Martinez Vela. The court finds that you've admitted to acting in concert with Froline Guzman Velasquez, Eric Alexander Lopez Gonzalez, and Randy Lopez Benitez. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. You're going to have to make better decisions. You're not allowed to re-enter the United States. Is he here legally or no?
No.
The other thing, we'll go back on the record. As a part of the plea bargain agreement, you are not allowed to enter the United States illegally. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else who has an interpreter? Thank you. Yes, you may be excused.
George, I mean.
Do you want to hold him for the second or do you want? Ask them to hold him to this afternoon. And we'll bring it back. So you tell them to hold it. Yes, there is. Anthony Davis. Oh, what is happening with? Okay, sure. Anthony Lee Davis, who is that?
That's me, Judge. That's him.
All right, who else is with the interpreter?
Mr. Liao and Mr. Martinez's case.
All right, I'll let them continue to confer. All right, Anthony Lee Davis, are you all ready to proceed?
No, Judge.
We've reached an agreement that involves a reduction so that he can enter the mental health court at the misdemeanor level on his assault family's second case. However, they still need to screen him.
So why can't we hear this motion?
This will resolve the motion.
This would resolve it.
I've spoken with Michelle Star Salazar and Adrian Rodriguez and misdemeanor mental health court Judge Huff. They said that there is a mechanism to get him in here if we plead him to the assault misdemeanor. They do need 3 to 4 weeks to screen him. They said if we can, we're already in the process of doing it. It could be done as soon as next week. So
why can't we hear this motion?
well, this will resolve the motion. We'll extend him on the probation.
Well, I
if
mean,
he's
it'll only-
accepted into mental health court. If he's not accepted into mental health court, then it kind of blows up our whole deal.
Well, it will only resolve the motion if I allow it to resolve the motion. So why can't we hear this now? Because what I have is a failure to report. So is there a reason why this can't go now?
And other than we have worked out the case with an agreement, Your Honor, it just, we can't proceed with that agreement.
No, you all want to discuss the motion?
Sure.
Okay.
That be straight.
Can I see the parties back up here on Anthony Davis without Mr. Davis in probation? If I could see you, please. Caroline, could you move briefly? Justin Villarreal. All right, what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, I have conferred with the state and they're asking me to ask for a reset on this case. They want to try to get a hold of.
And I can confirm with the defense. We have spoken with the complainant.
All right, if you all confer. Oscar Martinez. All right, what is happening with this case?
Judge, we're at a discovery setting here.
Yes.
And the defense does not have all the discovery. There's significant discovery in this case. I've been through tons of it, conferred with Mr. Garahan here. He assures me that it is actually there. I'm gonna have to re-download all the discovery to get these final little things that I need. And we're continuing to confer, Your Honor.
And I know there was the cell phone dump.
Those were required, those were obtained.
All right.
But there was additional things that, I guess, boilerplate, like GSR. I looked it up last night. It's there. Autopsy reports for individuals. They're there. It's there. And then other additional information that I had informed Mr. DeLeon.
My client's video statement to the police. I haven't seen that yet. I've read it, but I haven't seen it. So we're gonna get that.
And I
taken
know
care of, Your
this
Honor.
is, the file date says 2022, but Mr. DeLeon, I know you were not appointed to this case until March.
I'm actually hired on it, Your Honor, but.
Well,
it would have
appointed
been-
March.
Yeah, March, April.
So I will give you all 60 days to make sure all of the discovery is done. State, is that enough time?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that we do have it there. I think it's just maybe a technological problem on both sides. Maybe I just want to make sure that glitch is fixed if that's the problem.
All right, and in that 60 days, State, will you be prepared to make an offer?
Yes, yes. In fact, I think that we've been discussing things, so.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Oscar Martinez, can I have a 60-day reset for discovery? And on that day, I'll need a discovery acknowledgement.
You can do that one October 12th.
All right, October 12th.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Discovery, correct?
Yes. And counsel, your client just left you. All right. So counsel, is there the possibility of your client making bond?
No, Your Honor. We had a bond reduction hearing before with the court and.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, just give him a reset date just in case.
There is a co-defendant on this case and the attorney just arrived and I'm confirming with her.
All right, who is that co-defendant?
Joshua Mejia.
Ezekiel.
All right, will that be the same time needed?
I don't know. I haven't really conferred
Okay.
with it.
I'll let you all
but it
confer that.
Probably will be because
Okay.
she was asking for some certain things just now.
Okay.
But I'll let you know.
All right, thank you, Mr. DeLeon. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Who's here on John Sanchez? Yes. This is family violence. We're here for discovery.
And we also have one motion that we're asking you to consider today.
Yeah.
That the state is in agreement with.
All right, so state you're fine with him moving.
So, to be clear, that there was a motion to modify in front of Judge Nahara for him to have contact with his daughter. We were opposed to that. I'm still opposed to that, Your Honor. However, the judge did grant contact with her without any other conditions around it. So based on that, given that contact has already been allowed, I believe the motion is asking for a variance on curfew so he can move. And so.
All right, I'm gonna have this motion referred to Judge Nahara to hear it.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and where are we on discovery?
Your Honor, we are getting closer. This case spans over into Atascosa and the defense has requested materials related to another child that was not pursued in Atascosa. So I have gotten them police reports. There's another defendant's file that I have.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, y'all are getting a 60-day reset for discovery. There will be no further discovery dates given.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and state on that date, you need to be prepared to make an offer.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank
All right, Ms. Ferguson, what date on John Sanchez? He's on the recall, last page.
And Mr. Shaw, just sit down, Judge, and I'll get everything.
Sure.
Thank you, Judge.
And it's just for a regular reset, Judge, is it?
Discovery,
60 days. And how many days did you want to give them, Judge?
60 days.
I can just check the-
All right. And I will put it on that date. All right, who are the people who are on Zoom? Who is that for? Are you ready on your case?
Yes, Judge.
And what is your client's name again?
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. All right, could I have the parties on Anthony Davis? Mr. Davis's view come down. Court is calling 2022 CR 1227, State of Texas versus Anthony Lee Davis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks, the state of Texas.
Defense?
Kurt Hopke for the defense.
Are you Anthony Lee Davis? Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Also showing you First Amendment motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Anthony Lee Davis who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 1227 for the offense of evading arrest detention with a vehicle on June 28, 2022 for a term of 7 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 4 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Anthony Lee Davis, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of July, August, September 2022 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
Your Honor, the agreement proposed to the
Now,
court,
the other allegations?
the state will waive and abandon the other allegation.
Any objections?
No, Judge.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 7 years in prison and up to $1,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement submitted to the court is that the motion be denied and that the defendant be continued on probation, and that the conditions be altered and amended such that he have GPS on release and make evaluation while in custody and a pre-screening for the misdemeanor mental health court.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Davis, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Please.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, deny the motion, alter the main conditions to include full GPS upon release, and whether or not it's going to be full continuously, you need to come back to the court on that. There's going to be a MIC evaluation and a pre-screening for misdemeanor mental health court, and that's to be done while he's in custody. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further from the state.
Not on this case, Judge, but he does still have a open assault case that is going to be the one that will be reduced to a misdemeanor, so that we can do the mental health court. I guess we can reset on that case.
Yes.
And deal with everything on that day.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give a 30-day reset on that case? And if he's back sooner than that, then you can come back sooner than that.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. What date, Ms. Ferguson?
August 31st.
All right, we'll come back on August 31st.
I can't do August 31st, Judge.
Why not?
I'll be in Houston. I
Doing
have
what?
A motion to adjudicate hearing there as well.
All right, you can appear by Zoom. That's what we do here.
Okay.
All right, we'll have you back on August 31st. Mr. Davis, it is very important that you remain in contact with probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's here for the interpreter? All right, who's your client, Mr. Martinez? On the same case?
No, we have two different people.
All right, so we'll start with you, Mr. Martinez. Who is your client?
Eric Gonzalez. All right, Eric Lopez Gonzalez.
All right, Eric Lopez Gonzalez. All right, do you have the case number?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, where are we on discovery?
We received discovery, Judge.
And the other thing, he is not a citizen. That's what I have on this.
That is correct, Judge.
Has he spoken with the immigration attorney?
I'll double check on that. I know we've advised him, but I'll double check and see if there's been a third party.
All right, has an offer been tendered in this case?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Eric Gonzalez Lopez, reset this in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date.
August 21st.
All right, we're coming back on August 21st. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the offer. After that time, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to appear plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you have any questions?
no.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Who is the other person who needs an interpreter?
Fernando Espinosa Rodas, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, who?
Fernando Espinosa Rodas. And Froilan Guzman Velasquez.
Judge, it's two different defendants, for Mr. Leal, they're both. It's two separate ag kidnapping cases,
Okay, and they're not out of the same occurrence.
not out of the same occurrence.
All right, so we'll start with, what is his name?
Froilan Guzman Velasquez.
All right. Is your client a citizen?
No.
Norma, on Mr. Guzman, we'll need an immigration attorney.
Okay.
All right, have you received all the discovery?
I expect to get the discovery this afternoon, Judge.
Judge, we previously tendered the discovery in this case, to Mr. Leal.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
No, Judge, I haven't had a chance to talk with him about that.
All right, you need to discuss with them an offer. All right, are you going to do that today, counsel?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, this plea deadline date, put it also on August 21st.
Yes, sir.
All right, and do not leave court without tendering the offer to your client. Is there anything else?
Not concerning this case, Judge.
All right. All right, he may have a seat. Fernando Espinoza Rodez. Sir, are you a citizen?
No.
Fair enough.
All right, Norma, we need an immigration attorney.
Okay.
Judge, on this one, defense has provided us a hard drive, so we are going to be uploading discovery to that.
Okay. And have you tendered an offer?
Not yet, Judge. This is one of the cases where I haven't had time to examine this as well as the other case.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, recall it for the same date, August 21st. And at that time, the state will tender an offer.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Anyone else need an interpreter? Speak now or forever hold your peace, and you will be called back on a day that is inconvenient for you. That includes Saturday. All right, thank you.
Have you excused?
Yes, thank you so much. Who is here on Justin Villarreal? Justin Villarreal?
I will say, we were waiting just a few more minutes to hear back from the.
Okay, oh, let me know.
Finally.
Okay. Curtis Odell Williams? Who's the attorney for Curtis Williams?
She just left, and she'll be right back.
Deion Mason? All right, where are we on this case and who is the prosecutor?
I was talking with Jason, Your Honor,
Yes.
and Brittany Mitchell.
All right, so where are we on this case?
So, his main violation is this new number one, possession 4 to 200 grams.
Mhm.
I've been reviewing it. I think we've. Okay, so, or I don't know if there's an agreement.
Well, you ought to want to talk again?
We haven't had a chance to discuss with my client yet.
Oh, no, I
Just
think,
got discovery on this page. I just looked the whole thing over.
okay.
Okay.
So you guys need to talk again?
Well, we need to talk.
All right.
It's a work in progress.
Oh, that's okay. We're here. Caleb Chrome, sorry. Who's the attorney? All right, where are we on this case?
Judge, I just received APS and CPS records this morning, but I asked for 60 days to review them. We're in active negotiations with the state on a plea offer and potential counters.
Is that the all discovery?
It is, but I'm gonna have to go through and redact it. I believe it's all. I got it this morning. I don't have a computer with me to look it up, but I have no reason to doubt that it's what it says it is.
All right, and state, did you tender an offer?
We had one previous, but we haven't talked about
there's-
today.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, recall it for 45 days.
Thank you, Judge.
And there's going to be a quick turnaround on the plea agreement or
Sounds
plea
good.
deadline date.
Understood. So 45 days and we'll receive our plea date on that day, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Judge.
All right, September 14th, once you sign that, you are excused.
Wait for me here. I forgot.
Justin Villarreal. Gabriel Gobert. Yes. Your attorney here? All right, well, while people are acting as though I didn't call your name, Gabriel Gobert.
Oh, sorry, Judge. I'm here. Me.
Hi. Are you all ready to proceed on this?
No, Judge, we are not. I need to ask the court for a reset. Right now, we have no agreement. If the court would like to set it for contested, that's fine. There is a new number one. However, I do anticipate that we are going to come to an agreement. It really is up to the court what to set it for. I just need some additional time. I just received the report on the new number one today, and I'm reviewing it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can set this for a contested. And it's Gobert.
Yes, Judge. That's perfect, Judge.
All right, August 31st. Mr. Gobert, you were late. Next time you're late, things may end up going differently. You may end up in custody awaiting to hear your case. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's not to be any photography in the courtroom. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. They'll give you a reset form and we'll see you back on August 31st.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who is here on Francisco Martinez. Oh, yeah, start doing it.
Sending everybody back.
Oh, if their attorneys are not here and nobody's made an announcement. So on Martinez, my understanding is that we're still awaiting the psychological evaluation.
So the evaluation apparently was done like 2 days ago. We don't have the report. So that's
All
what
right.
we're-
So Ms. Ferguson, recall this for 30 days. Deputy Laura, before you all start sending people back, could you remind the first chairs?
August, I wasn't approached.
Okay.
September 7th.
That's fine.
All right, we're going to come back on September 7th to see if the report is done. If the report is done sooner than that, they can always come back to the court sooner. You understand? All right, we'll see you all back on September 7th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
No, much later in the.
I give my God, I think it's fine.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice.
All right. I have Justin Villarreal, Deion Mason,
Looks like he's still conferring with his client.
all right. Curtis Williams,
Send right in the middle, sir, and Michelle.
all right, we're here for sentencing. Court is calling 2022 CR 9994, State of Texas versus Curtis Odell Williams. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Lindsay Shopping, Mr. Williams.
And are you Mr. Williams? All right, your attorney is listed as Mr. Bunk. Do you have any objections to this attorney standing in?
No, ma'am.
All right. You entered a plea on April 3rd, and we're here for sentencing. According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. Are both parties ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Williams, I appreciate you for showing up, knowing that you're going to be taken into custody. You'd be surprised how many people do not show up.
You took everything in me.
Oh, well, I'm glad the NU worked. All right, the court is finding you guilty as previously found by Judge Moore. I'm going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration NIMAG number 705915. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Sure. It is 705915.
I just wanted to let the court be aware that it was indicted. I have an indicted number, if you'd like to put that on the record.
All right, and what is the indicted number?
2023 CR 5249. I'm throwing out a dismissal.
You said 5249?
Yes, that's right.
All right, the court will take in consideration 2023 CR 5249, showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
I'm 32.
All right, you're 32. Do not be the person at the prison who's the oldest person at the prison. I know you've heard me tell people that before, and people want to know how things are run here. And they say, ask the oldest person at the prison, and it's you, all right? All right, good luck to you. Anyone else ready? Who's your client?
Philip Lopez, I have a motion to return property.
All right, have you conferred with the state?
Well, the case has been dismissed, Your Honor.
Yeah, but yeah, I still require you to confer with the state. All right, thank you. Have a great one. Here's the motion, counsel. Yeah.
No. Approach her.
Yes. So do we know this dismissal, the reason for the dismissal?
Yes.
The grand jury no billed it, my understanding.
Ah, yeah, okay.
And just so the court is aware, the gun wasn't the aggravated weapon.
I don't know that.
Kind of weird.
I don't know if that helps.
Okay.
Too well.
Yeah, well, the other guy brought the knife.
Brought a knife to the gunfight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like untouchables.
And do you all know the date the case was no billed?
I believe I put it in there, Your Honor.
Give me a check real quick.
Ah, you did, July 11th.
Yes, ma'am. I did it right for once.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
You're anticipating my questions. I like that.
After 30 whatever years, I'm kind of getting the hang of this stuff. Now, Judge, I'm admiring your orange and white. Are you seeing the light and moving towards Austin and
Oh, no.
ditching those crazy cages?
Hey, you can't.
Oh, my
you
gosh.
can't leave LSU and then go all the way to Austin.
No.
You gotta- There's College Station on the way.
Yes, there you go. And you know what? I keep telling the people who don't understand Texas, you need to understand that in the SSC, we will welcome you with open arms. We will beat you and still invite you to the barbecue. So, but I will tell you, because A&M is sort of like our first cousins now, you're like a second cousin removed. So we're going to have to,
That burn orange hairs.
yeah, we're going to have to beat you down a little bit because the way you,
years, we're kind of used to that.
we're going to have to,
You see Colorado's coming back to the Big 12?
yes.
I couldn't believe that.
But you know, we're going to have to beat you down a little bit for what you've done to our first cousin. After we've done that a couple of times, after 2 years, we'll say, okay. Jason, that's where you invite them to the picnic and you don't give them a Coke. You're welcome. Have a good day. And Norma, can you call the MAC for Yvette Martinez? Oh, just tell them they're needed here because her attorney's not here. And I'll explain to them the issues when they come down. So I know I still have on the docket Yvette Martinez, Stephanie, Clyde, Roland Diaz, Gabriel Gonzalez, Justin Villarreal, Luis Gomez. We completed Luis Gomez, did we not, or no? All right, thank you. I believe we completed Gordon Chase. We're still here on Dion Mason. All right, thank you. Angela Gonzalez. Oh, thank you. Anthony Davis, that's completed. Angel Cruz, completed. Carlton Macmillan did not appear. Joshua Mejia, that's with Joanne Ankle. Jose Soto Victorino. Norma, can you contact John Kuntz? That's unlike Mr. Kuntz. And yes. Yeah, there's one person on Zoom. It says Doris iPhone.
Maybe the guardian for the Ethan Byers case.
Okay.
They may be in the same room.
Okay. All right, I'll take that up.
Would you like?
All right, the parties on Doris iPhone. Could you start the video and unmute, please? I don't know if they know how to work it.
I called back twice and no answer. It's one straight.
Okay. Oh, and where did Will Brooks go? He never approached. Ah, are you ready on yours? Ah, okay.
If you could, I was standing outside. My secretary told me that. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Your Honor, my apologies. I was outside.
Sure. Carlton Macmillan. Where is your client?
Your Honor, I haven't got a hold of him today.
All right, is he on commercial bond?
I believe so.
Caroline, can you check to see if he's on the commercial bond? Court is calling 2023 CR 3941 State of Texas versus Carlton Macmillan. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks of the state of Texas.
Defense?
Eric DeWalt, I represent Mr. McMillan.
All right, this case was called at 9 a.m. It is now 12:19 p.m. And the defendant has not appeared. Counsel, have you had any contact with your client?
Your Honor, I've gone through the entire file with phone numbers there. I also called other phone numbers that I had. I had my legal assistant called. I believe she, and this is third party, she had a word that I'll get there when I can. I have not seen them.
All right, Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Carlton Macmillan?
Yes, Your Honor, I did. There's no answer on the hall.
State?
Our state moves to revoke this defendant's bond.
All right, the court will grant the bond forfeiture, remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And who's your other client?
It is Justin Verriel.
All right,
I believe we're waiting for the state to talk to the victim. We are currently confirmed.
all right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Rogelio Sanchez. All right, where are we on this case?
Well, we have been in discussion stating the defense for several days, Judge. We thought that we would probably be able to resolve it in way of a plea, but I don't think that that's going to happen at this.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Rogelio Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. And are you all still proceeding on this as a capital murder?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
So I mean, it'd be a non-death capital, so just life without parole.
So there will be no need for a punishment. So this should be not as long because we don't have punishment. If you were found guilty. I always put the if in
I
there.
appreciate that. Give me
Mentally, I put the if in there.
encouragement. And
And as many cases, Mr. Cox says, you and Mr. Garahan have, we're going to have to give you all new little notebooks as they start tearing up.
They do. Well, I think mine's running out in December, so I'm already using the notes. I mean, I don't think we have any open dates until January.
I heard you say no open dates until January, but
January, that'd be fine.
no, that's not a good time for the court. That's too far.
It's cool.
Well, not in Texas. Sometimes it's January and you still have summer weather. And Mr. Byers, I'm going to take you up next after I finish with this one case.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm out of town. Wait, yeah. Yeah, because we have this Mendoza. Yeah, we could do, let me check one second. It's Joseph Harris on that as well.
Correct.
Mr. Cox, do you want a bench trial? I think the state would agree to a bench trial.
I think that.
All right, Charles Dickens, it needs to be yes or no.
We'll let 12, we'll go with the 12 judges.
Okay. All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson?
So.
Oh.
All right, I'll let you all discuss.
Yeah, you can give us just a few minutes.
All right, buyers. Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation on buyers. And yes, I have it. Thank you. So they want to change the no contact order.
That's correct.
State on buyers.
It was written.
They want to change the no contact order to no harm for injurious contact.
Okay.
And Mr. Morales, if you can unmute.
Okay. Okay.
Are you all going to have any objection?
No, sorry, I wasn't sure if you were asking anything specific. No, no, based on the report that probation provided, he's, I have no concerns, and I did review the facts of the case prior to writing my position on that.
All right, in probation, do you have any concerns?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then I will lift the no contact order and change to no harmful or injurious contact. Do you understand, Ms. Morales? I know you're having trouble unmuting. When I click, it should pop up asking you to unmute. All right, so Ms. Morales, give me a thumbs up if you have any objections to having contact with Mr. Byers.
Grandma, on the left side of your screen, there's a little microphone on the bottom. Press the mute on the bottom. It's a little microphone.
And I think someone was there with her, a younger person who probably knows. All right, Mr. Byers, you have no intention of living there, is that correct?
No, ma'am. I did live there before all this happened. I mean, that's my house that I grew up in. If there's any way I could like stay there sometimes, or I mean.
Well, I tell you what, we'll take things step by step.
Okay.
The first thing I'll do is I'll lift the no contact order where you can have contact with her, but you're not allowed to live there. You understand?
Okay.
Or spend the nights there. Then if that goes well, then I'll consider allowing you to live there. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. And
Are you able-
it's with my cousin, which is her grandson. She's just the guardian of the victim.
All right. Are you able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's what we'll do. And what I'll do is I'll do that for a month. And if all goes well, then I can change it where you can stay there.
Okay, awesome.
All right. All right. Is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
And are you at work?
Yes, ma'am. I was at work. I had to drive down here.
All right. So just as a side note, the blue thing behind you, is that for, what is that?
Oh, it's a slushy.
I thought I recognized that as a slushie. I do the icy. I thought that's what that was. I was saying, is that for the car wash or is that a slushie? You need to cover that up when you're on Zoom. Don't tempt me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry about that. You have a wonderful day, man. Thank you.
All right. You too.
Thank you.
And we'll resubmit and and 1 month to see how this goes, and then he may be able to live there. If probation fixes, okay. Ms.
Okay.
Morales?
Yes.
Hi, he's going to be allowed to have contact with you, but he cannot stay there. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty. Bye-bye. Thank you. Have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Bye-bye.
You too. Yes.
It's on a different case.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna bring her up. Just give me 1 moment.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim.
Sure, no problem.
Sorry.
Can I see the file on Martinez? Do that, Martinez. And what date did y'all choose for Rogelio Sanchez?
For December 5th.
All right, you're set for December 5th, Mr. Sanchez, and that's for jury trial. All right, thank you. Justin Villarreal. Are y'all ready to proceed? Yes.
The state has been in contact with the complainant. I think she's kind of trying to decide what she wants to do in terms of proceeding. The state let her know that she could take a little bit of time to think about it. So the state would ask for a reset on this case.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Justin Villarreal, set this for a contested in 10 days, please. No.
Sorry. I have to put it for the 21st.
All right. August 21st.
Thank you, Honor.
All right, that's your contested hearing date. Ms. Ferguson will have you sign the reset form. Once that's done, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Dion Mason.
Judge, can I approach something real quick?
How quick is quick?
10 seconds.
Okay.
Judge, on Froilan Guzman Velasquez, I received an offer, communicated that offer to my client. However, just now I've been told that there is a pre-indictment case against my client, a new one. And in order for me to get information on that new case, I need to be appointed as well. I'm appointed in this case presently.
All right, you need to talk to Ms. Ferguson about that.
Ms.
But the
Ferguson?
dates that the court has given, those dates will stand.
I understand that, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dion Mason. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 2229, State of Texas versus Dion Martise Mason. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Michael J. Sawyer for the defense.
Are you Dion Mason?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Dion Martise Mason who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 2229 for the offense of continuous violence against family on May 31st, 2022 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Your Honor, in violation of condition number 1, on or about the 5th day of July 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Dion Martise Mason committed the offense of possession with the intent to deliver a controlled substance in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State,
Your Honor, at this time, we would waive the remaining violations.
any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, there's an agreement to enter an adjudication of guilt, revoke community supervision, and sentence 1 to 4 years. And additionally, there is a night mag, case number 719678 relating to the offense that he pled true to that will be taken into consideration.
All right, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Mason, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will follow your agreement. Court will find you guilty. The court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Take in consideration 719618. And there's to be no contact with Aleigha, ALEIGHA, Bridges, BRIDGES. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Not for the defense, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction and an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
We can go off the record. How old are you?
25.
Here's the thing. If you don't change your life around, you're going to find yourself for a majority of the time either in someone's prison or someone's jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do better. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, that's
Thank
all
you.
I have. I'm excused.
Yes, you may. Thank you so much.
I know, I've been down there next.
All right, could I see the parties for Yvette Martinez?
Your Honor, this is a victim impact for the, this is the.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm sorry you had to wait so long. I received notice from the defense attorney on this case has back surgery. We tried to get someone from managed assigned counsel to perhaps send someone else, but they're unable to do so. So I apologize for you for having to come down. We're going to have to reset it because even though I know what the agreement is, you know what the agreement is, and the state does, she still needs to have an attorney present. Otherwise, if I were to pass sentence today, it could always come back on appeal and we'd have to do all of this over again. So the attorney is telling us when will he be available?
Next Thursday.
All right, so we're going to recall this for Thursday, the 10th. And if you want to, you can come down, or if you want to be by Zoom, I'll allow you to be by Zoom. So just let the court know. And we'll call it on the 10th. And Norma, on the 10th, not only I'm going to want the attorney here, but I want someone from managed assigned counsel. So on the 10th, something is going to happen with this case. All right. Do you have any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much.
Judge, just to let you know, I mean, he has come down at almost every setting, so I just want the court to be aware of that.
All right. So again, if you want to appear by Zoom, you can appear by Zoom, and I'll let you appear by Zoom no matter who objects.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And I'm going to note on the docketing sheet that you've been here for every hearing.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Can I see Yvette Martinez up here, please? All right, Ms. Martinez, we're going to call you back on August 10th. Your attorney cannot be here today. Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give her a reset form for August 10th?
Ms. Martinez.
Joshua Mejia.
They're just the co-defendant to Oscar Martinez.
All right, and what date did we give?
That was October 12th, Judge.
All right, so we're going to recall this back on October 12th. And did we recall that back for discovery?
Discovery purposes, and I believe you said that would be the last
Yes.
discovery, and I think that Mrs. Eckel and I have gotten that stuff
All right.
situated. You
We're
know, We're
working
on the path.
Okay.
Same path, same path.
All right. Norma, on Joshua Mejia, that's coming back on October 12th for discovery, and that's the last date for discovery.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Roland Diaz?
Have a seat, sir.
All right, and where is Mr. Diaz?
Yes, my understanding was sent back, Your Honor.
Yes.
He has an MTR that was scheduled for today. He also has multiple aggravated robberies. We're working to try to put together a package deal for everything, Your Honor. The aggravated robberies, though, are new, so they need to be looked at more carefully by the state and myself in order to receive a informed, appropriate offer.
And
All right.
Judge,
Yes.
just inform the court, just so you're aware, so it's 4 separate ag robbery cases that are all waiting indictment, all from different days. So it's just something that I just want to make sure to read all the reports and make sure we have all the information.
All right. So when is that going to happen?
If you give me just a little bit of time, it's really just reading the police reports and talking and reaching out to the complainants just to make sure.
All right, 30 days?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this robbery case, on Diaz, recall it for 30 days?
And I'm sorry, Judge, with a ongoing MTR as well. With
Yes,
a
that's the
companion
MTR.
Yes,
Because I
Judge.
don't have the other files since they haven't been indicted.
Exactly,
Sure.
Judge.
August 31st, Judge.
All right, we're coming back on August 31st. And counsel, spread the word. The rules in this court now, you need to be here before 10, because otherwise people will get sent back.
Oh, no, and I appreciate that, Your Honor. For the record, I was, but then started working on the offer and then ran to other courts and came back afterwards.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
Judge.
you.
Great.
Cara Gomez.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Hello. All right.
Sorry, Judge. Yes.
So, oh, no problem. Probation. On this case, this was the motion to revoke. And Mr. Brooks worked his magic.
Yes, Your Honor. So she's going to plead through to one of the violations so we can take care of the motion to revoke. And then we're gonna put in the paperwork possibly for a transfer to Maverick County and to release only to the facility that is going to pick her up tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 2055W State of Texas versus Kiara Gomez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Will Brooks for the defendant, Ms. Gomez.
And are you Ms. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilty and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Kiara Gomez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 2055W for the offense of theft, 150,000 to 30,000 of a vehicle on March 9th, 2023 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 4 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Kira
Gomez did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of April 2023 in violation of condition number 4.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the remaining violation.
Any objections?
No objections to the waiver, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to a violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there an agreement?
There is not, Judge.
It's open, I mean, it's
Yeah.
quasi agreement, but it's open to the court, Your Honor. The state's just open to the court.
Okay. All right. Defense, what are you requesting?
Just a couple of things. Some background on Ms. Gomez, I think might help the court understand her. The nature of the underlying case itself was she took an ambulance for where she lives in Eagle Pass and was driving herself to treatment because she was using at that time, her drug of choice was methamphetamine. I believe that was January of this year.
31st.
She was granted probation by the court and she went to an inpatient recovery program. Is that right?
Yes, after being released.
After being released, she doesn't have any sort of ties to our community, Judge. She finished her time up there and then you said you.
I went back home.
Okay, she went back home to Eagle Pass at that time, Judge. She's not been on probation before, so this is new to her. But obviously a personal responsibility issue, Judge. I did. She is Kickapoo, Judge. That's her community down there. I spoke with a gentleman named Raul. And he is a staff member at New Hope Healing Grounds.
I'm sorry, New Hope.
New Hope Healing Grounds, Judge.
Mhm.
And that is the treatment facility they have on the reservation where she lives, Judge. There are no inpatient facilities. I checked with both him. She's unable to access it through them because of her status right now. And then additionally, I reached out and spoke with the state representative for that area, which includes Maverick County. And because of the size of the county and lack of population, there's no specialty courts, there's no inpatient facilities. So this would seem to be the best option for her, Judge.
Mhm.
She does have, and Mr. Rowell with New Hope Healing was able to verify that she has a place to live there, and her sister would be living with her on the reservation in the same place where the facility is located. So in other words, they're in the same community. And they are responsible for transportation to and from meetings and things of that nature. So they'll help her in that regard.
All right. So this is a transfer to Eagle Pass,
To Maverick County.
Maverick County. And this is still in Texas, correct?
Yes, it is, Judge.
All right, then the court is going to deny the motion and probation. Are you in agreement with this? Thank you. Court is going to deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include a transfer to Maverick County. And also for her to receive treatment through New Hope Healing Grounds. You're to follow all recommendations and conditions of New Hope Healing Grounds. You're to provide a release to probation so they can be updated on your progress. And probation, is there anything else?
Your Honor, just until the transfer is complete, we would ask that she would report virtually.
Okay. All right, and you're to report by Zoom every 2 weeks until transfer. And are they going to be addressing prenatal issues with her as well?
I think, did you tell me your sister's in there? I think she's actually gonna have access to all the services through this, Judge, and on the reservation as well, yeah.
All right, so you're going to have to provide proof of the prenatal care to probation
And
as far as that you're getting that done and you're taking care of that.
that means my doctor visits, right?
Yes, your doctor visits.
And Judge, if I may,
Yes.
in speaking with the center, they're gonna arrange for her for transportation down there tomorrow. But if the court could order no release except to them.
Yes, I'm putting in there, I'm sorry, I probably didn't say it on the record, but she is to be released to an official from New Hope Healing Grounds only.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further.
All right, we can go off the record. This is your chance. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Everything that you do, everything that you ingest, even my understanding, your emotional well-being, the babies pick up on that. So if you want your baby to be born healthy and have a great chance and I want to say, to come into this world, having great opportunities, it's going to have to start with you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And this court, probation, communication is key. If something is happening at the facility that you're being transferred and you feel as though they're not addressing issues, or you feel it isn't what you thought it was, instead of up and leaving, you need to contact probation. And then we can all address those issues by Zoom.
Yes, sir.
And if that were the case, I will even ask Mr. Brooks to be placed back on your case since he's aware of everything and aware of different programs that may be available. And I will tell you this, the fact that we were just here so recently and Mr. Brooks immediately got on top of everything and calling people from out of county, he did great work by doing that. Okay. All right. You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Luis Gomez.
Ms. Gomez, just have a seat.
Yes, you may. Bye. Brittany believes in leaving people behind. All right, are you all ready to proceed on this?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 1424, State of Texas versus Luis Angel Gomez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Joanne Eagle for Mr. Gomez.
Are you Mr. Gomez?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilty and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Luis Angel Gomez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 1424 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on April 6, 2023 for a period of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 2, on or about the 4th day of May, 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Luis Angel Gomez, did then and there admit to illegal use of a controlled substance, namely marijuana, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, state waives all the violations.
Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it's to deny the motion, amend conditions to include SATIV and remain in the Bexar County Jail until bail is available.
All right. Is there anything that will preclude him from going to SATIF? Any gang affiliation or anything of that nature?
None that I'm aware of, Judge.
Mr. Gomez?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Gomez, I saw that I had referred you to felony drug court and you never appeared. You didn't show up for your screening. And then they tried all numbers. They tried your family and you didn't show up. Why? You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear, affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Luis Gomez.
All right, why didn't you show up to your felony drug court appointments? They just tell the truth.
I just wasn't ready.
All right. So what have you been using other than marijuana?
Well,
Here's the thing, you need to be honest because I'm trying to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to follow this agreement or whether or not I send you to prison.
just meth and heroin.
All right. So does everybody feel as though meth, heroin, and marijuana is going to be addressed with SATA? Or does it need to be something more intensive? Because he doesn't, and I mean this in the kindest of way. I remember you, Mr. Gomez, and you're looking different and not in a good way. So I'm trying to figure out, it looks like you've lost even more weight. I'm trying to figure out what would be the best to help you. Now I'm leaning towards inpatient treatment, but it's going to be inpatient treatment and then felony drug court, and hopefully a place will open up for him. So I'm just trying to see if SATF is a good place for him since it's marijuana, heroin, and meth.
Your Honor, our SATF program is geared for alcohol and drug dependence.
Mhm.
We will do and we do have an aftercare program with that.
Okay.
And the aftercare is 90 to 120 days.
Okay.
So they will follow him for an extended amount of time. The other option we have is Safe P, and that is also alcohol and drug dependence.
All right. This is what I'll do. If there's no objection from probation, I'll deny the motion, alter the amend conditions to include SATA, follow with aftercare if not accepted into felony drug court.
The aftercare is
Well, no, I already know if he's accepted in a felony drug court is going to take him and have him do the aftercare. But I just want to make sure that felony drug court is a component.
Yes, Your Honor. So can we just add felony drug court?
Yes.
Just so that we make sure that he's in the aftercare program until accepted into felony drug court.
Yes. All right, Mr. Gomez, is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
All right, you're going to remain in custody until you're transferred to SATA, if you understand. You need to take advantage of that program because the drugs you're using, that's a deadly combination. Using any drugs is a deadly combination, but heroin, meth, and marijuana, that's a major problem. Do not be the person on the news where I get a report and they say, oh, we're terminating his probation because I get a deceased starter. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you need anything, we're here to help you. And this court communication is key. Make sure you stay in touch with probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes. All right, so Norma and Vashon, we're gonna move our book club meeting to August 11th. That's a Friday. And we'll do it by Zoom so that Caroline can finish reading. Oh, and today is our Friday, really?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll still be at the office working, but you all will be able to work upstairs. All right, good seeing you guys.